This is an edit from Anthony in the future. I forgot to mention, if you want to check out the Amazon store, link in the description. Anthonites, I have a story for you. A story I haven't thought about since I was, I don't know, 14, 15. Okay, I've thought about it a couple times since then, but not in depth. I have pulled this up. This is probably the best approximation of what I can actually show you to give you an idea of sort of the space we're dealing with. So I would like to take you back about 10 years. Wait, no. 20 years. Ah, that's scary. About 20 years. This puts me at about 13, 14. My brother at about 3 or 4-ish. The moral of the story is never pick up your toys. A day just like any other. And I've pulled this up because this is sort of an approximation of the general landscape we're talking about. It's a little bit different, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit of explaining. Here, in the place that actually this happened, there is no trailer here. And instead of this being a roundabout driveway, the only driveway comes from over here. So this is, I guess, just grass. Just picture that as grass. So there is a driveway that sort of goes up to the trailer in the back. Now, again, I am 13, 14, my brother 3 or 4. And I was left as Mr. Responsible Babysitter, while the parents were out shopping or something similar. So as they are doing their thing, I was tasked with either A, picking up brother's toys, or B, having him pick up his own toys from the front yard similar to this. Now, this is in the country, if you can't tell. This is pretty far out in the boonies, which means you don't have too many neighbors. All right, so you may have like a neighbor here, you may have like a neighbor somewhere back in the woods, you may have like a neighbor over in this general area, but it's not densely packed. It's sort of important. So, I'm like, hey, brother man, go pick up your toys. And of course, with him being 3 or 4 years old, he's a little whiny about it. Because that's what kids do sometimes at that age. Like, no, I don't like you. I don't care. Go pick up your toys. Now, I had already, the big stuff I had already gotten, but it was just, a couple of trucks and, like little car things and things like that. Just basically trying to instill a little bit of responsibility and, let's also be honest, maybe a little bit of laziness on my part. They weren't my toys after all. So, it's like, brother man, go get your toys. Actually, he wasn't a man, so I can't call him brother man. Brother boy, go get your toys. So, finally, he's like, okay, fine. And again, he starts picking up his toys, and he starts whining again. And I, in my all-powerful, all-knowing brotherly wisdom, I'm like, oh, this is just more of the same, whatever. And like, dude, just pick up your toys. And he starts whining, and he said he got bitten by an ant. I'm like, that happens. Just, watch where you're stepping and, whatever. So he continues to pick up his toys. And at this point, he starts, crying. Like, not necessarily like, emotional tears. We're talking about losing your stuff, crying. And at that age, it wouldn't have been out of character for that to just happen. For him to just have an emotional breakdown, because I'm sure he wanted to watch Blue's Clues. I'm sure he wanted to do anything in the world other than pick up his toys. So at first, I kind of take the hard edge. Like, hey, just pick up the toys. You got like 5 minutes worth of work there. Why spend 5 minutes crying so the whole job takes 10 minutes? I'm logicking this, which I shouldn't have done in hindsight. But, he is losing his stuff. And So finally I go out to, because I am standing, well, if this is the house that we're talking about, this little trailer in the back here, I was standing on the porch. So I was a good 15 feet from my brother at this point. And so I decided, I come over and I, begin to like, okay, fine, I will help you. Let's just please let this, And I realize my brother is covered. His legs are covered. He had not only been bitten by an ant, he had been bitten by all the ants. This poor boy had probably just stepped in an entire, like mound, I guess. You don't call it a hive. It's a mound of fire ants. And immediately, all the regret, all the sorriness, all the everything. Oh my goodness. I panicked. I brought him in the house. Shortly thereafter, the parents got home. I explained the situation to them because the first question they had when they walked in the door was, why are Ed's toys not picked up? You had one job, Anthony. You had one job. Oh, so I explained, Mom, Dad, look, things didn't go to plan. And finally, get them on, on the same page. And, I am trying in my 14-ish year old self. I'm like, do we put calamine lotion on it? What do we do? I don't remember specifically what the steps we took were, but I do know that we got him into the bath. All right. That way, if there was anything still crawling on him, it would, it'd be washed off. Maybe it would help him soak out some of the fire ant stuff. I don't know. Now, here's where things get interesting. My little brother, now I just need to repeat this, is like 3-4 years old. And he had just made a scene in the front yard. Now, as I mentioned earlier, as you can see, neighbors, not really a thing. There are a couple, but whatever. Apparently, one of the neighbors in a very rural area, somewhat like this, had called the cops because here's what they heard. Him crying and me going, Ed, just pick up your toys. And he's losing his stuff. Just So, of course, they probably thought I was beating the poor child. So, they called the cops. And the cops showed up. Now, my parents knew the officers in that area, not for nefarious purposes, but because they both worked at convenience stores at the time, different ones. So the cops were always in, getting gas, getting coffee, getting donuts, whatever it is cops do. So they were aware of who's, they were aware as soon as someone opened the door, they're like, oh, okay. So my mom starts explaining to the officer what the hell is going on. Now here's the thing. I'm going on some logical leaps here. I think this is called a wellness visit or something, or a welfare visit or something. Basically just making sure you're not beating the hell out of your kids and stuff. So the officers, they basically say, like, what you're saying totally makes sense. We've got to see the child. Now, my brother is still in the bathtub at this point. Naked. Which, logically, actually is a super convenient time because the officers probably would have had to have seen all of his, butt parts and all of the other parts to make sure we weren't beating him. Or whatever. Torturing the poor child. I think I was in with him trying to not literally, but metaphorically lick this poor boy's wounds. And, Mom knocks on the door. She's like, Aunt, I need you to get Ed out of the tub. The officers need to see him. I'm like, okay, I'll get him dressed. No, don't get him dressed. Wait, what? Now, I also want to remind you that about 3 or 4 years old is about the time where, as a society, we start teaching our children the concept of shame. So this is super confusing for the boy because he just went from like, I can be naked and it's okay, to us being like, okay, if anyone ever wants to see your doodle, don't show them your doodle. If anyone ever, so he was just at that age where we're like, there are bad people out in the world who want to see your doodle. And here we are, and this is also, again, roughly the age where we're like, police officers are your friend. You always trust the cops, right? And all of a sudden, he's being checked out, head to toe, naked, by officers. And we had always told him, anyone outside the family who wants to see your doodle, they're probably bad people. So this poor boy, I don't know what lesson he learned that day, other than don't pick up your toys. Because he very possibly could have learned that officers just want to see your doodle. Or, if you pick up your toys, you're going to end up naked and being inspected by officers. Anyway, I digress. I move away from that point. The moral of this story for me was, maybe listen to your brother a little bit more. Camera cut off. I know sometimes it's hard, because sometimes young children want to tell you all the stories in the world. But maybe, just maybe, if they tell you that they've been bitten by fire ants in a yard that looks like this, yeah, maybe you should listen. All right. Anyways, so that is the story of the time my brother ended up naked and being inspected by officers because he had picked up his toys, or tried to. I hope that this video has been helpful or entertaining to you. I very much want to get back to the standard vlog format. I've got a little ways to go before that. So I'm doing some of this content right now. Embarrassing myself, embarrassing my family. Hopefully my brother forgives me one day for telling this story. If you have any sort of oddball, goofball stories or anything like that, feel free to let me know. Tell them down below. And while we're at it, I would like to also let you know, I've been doing a little bit more lately with updating my Amazon store with equipment that I use, equipment that I can recommend, etc. As of recently, I've added a couple of things. Many of you who have seen my vlogs may have seen this. This is a selfie stick. It's pretty much the only selfie stick that I use. And you can see I have one here, and I have another. I have a third. And then I gave one to my brother. This is a selfie stick that I very much believe in, and it is now on my store. Now, when I say my store, I'm not selling these, but somebody else is, and I'm recommending it. It's amazing. It's so if you don't have a front-facing camera on your or a front-facing LCD, it's actually got a little bitty shiny bit there, which I have used many, many times just to get a general idea how I have things framed. Of course, it's not going to be perfect, but it's better than nothing. I love it. I've used this several times. It's very sturdy, and it's got these nice little grip things. It's almost like military quality, if you check that out there. But yeah, it goes out crazy far. I think it's something like 5 to 6 foot, or I don't know, it's not 6 foot, but it's a fairly long selfie stick when it's fully extended. It's got a really nice grip to it. I like it. Please do check that out. Even if you end up not buying one of these or whatever, simply going to that store when I mention it really helps out the channel. It lets Amazon know that I actually care and that I'm actually trying to keep up with it. And hey, you know what? Maybe if you like something, If you find something you like, you may pick it up. I've been really thinking about all that stuff lately, and yeah. All right. I've also got some other stuff on there that I use frequently, regularly. I actually have the camera that this is being filmed on right now, right there. A blue microphone, blue snowball, which actually is behind me right there. I use that a lot for other stuff. Other various tripods and camera gear in case you do want to get into this whole content creation stuff. I will be adding more stuff down the line, probably stuff that I use in my everyday life type things. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for listening to my crazy story. And hopefully I'll have a lot more of these. Let me triple check, make sure that I didn't miss anything, because I actually made notes that I didn't even reference like one time during all this. Yeah. Yeah, no. I covered everything. I hope this has been helpful for you. If it has, let us know in the comment section down below. Hope it's been entertaining. Also, till next time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all those things that make me love my job. Also, be awesome to yourself and amazing to each other. Bye.